Good morning, Al Ingalls at pressure-free.com this morning. For those of you who are popping on live with me today, I thank you so much for being on live on this broadcast. And for anybody watching the replay, I really appreciate your support. And feel free to like, heart, share this out. Good morning, Greg. How are you? Facebook really loves likes, hearts, and shares, so that gets the message out to more people. So if you feel so inclined as I'm speaking and something touches you, go ahead and like, heart it. You can also put a comment down in here. You can also share this link privately with someone. I'm continuing the series this week. It's National Suicide Prevention Week, and next Tuesday, I'm going to be in Grand Rapids at the Public Library, where there's going to be kind of a wonderful lineup of people and resources there to help stomp out the stigma of mental health issues and help people really get the help they need. So if you're in the Grand Rapids area and you want to come by, we'd love to have you. And it's being hosted by the West Michigan Mental Health Foundation, and that's who I'm talking about today. Heather Ann, thank you so much. Heather Ann was on my webinar with her whole family last night. They put me on the TV screen. I think that was so cool. So I really appreciate your support, Heather Ann, of these DLE Facebook posts, and I can't wait to work with your family. It's going to be really exciting. Be Nice is the campaign that the West Michigan Health Foundation, Mental Health Foundation, spins out to high schools and to corporations around West Michigan. And the acronym NICE, N-I-C-E, earlier this week I talked about Notice. So if you want to go back through those videos and learn more about Notice, I'm thrilled, thank you. Notice is, are you noticing a change in someone? Are you noticing that someone's become less communicative? Are they changing their activities? Is there something physical about them that you are concerned about? The I in NICE stands for invite. And what they mean by invite is to invite yourself into a conversation with the person that you're concerned about. And this is not particularly an easy thing to do. And so they have a wonderful video, and I've put the link in the top of this post here so that you can click on that link and actually go through and learn how to gently invite yourself into a conversation with someone with whom you're concerned about. And so, hi, Betty. Thank you so much for joining. It's nice to see you pop on here. Inviting yourself is not an easy thing, but yet it's so critical to helping someone get the help that they need. And basically, it's just taking that time to say, hey, I noticed that something's kind of going down with you. Is everything okay? So you're just reaching out, and it takes a lot of courage to reach out, because you might get pushback. You're kind of afraid of how the person might take what you're saying or doing. Yet you may be the one person that's a lifeline to someone. And I notice in my coaching, when there's a shift, when someone's going through a shift and a change, it's scary for them too. And so it's interesting how they're so apt to be releasing stress hormones, and releasing of the stress hormones, shutting down the cortex, is one of the reasons why the behavior changes. It's why they're starting to have a lot of self-doubt, because their brain is talking crap to them. Have you said that to yourself, like you are your own worst enemy? That nasty voice is going on and on and on? Hi, Bill Gray. Thank you for joining. When we have the negative voice talking in our head, it's often talking to us in such a negative way that we begin to seriously doubt. We begin to seriously doubt so much about our being. And so one of the first steps is acknowledging that we have those voices. You'll hear me talk about them a lot on my posts, because some of my tools are physical tools that you use to prevent stress, and some are mental tools, and then the other are life design tools, time management, goal setting, really breaking through those doubts. But I think my mind tools are some of the most powerful tools that I share with people. I was just coaching this morning for a couple of hours, and so powerful. as I was working with this young person on the thoughts that go through our head and the things that we say to ourselves. We are often not our own best friends. And so when you can notice that someone is going through something and you reach out, you invite yourself into a conversation with them. That's the second step, so that you can begin to be the person they can talk. Betty writes in here, I know I have the negative voice a lot. I'm getting better, but noticing it is sometimes slow for me to get it. Oh my gosh, it's so true. The negative voice that comes in is really sneaky. It's sneaky, and it can be like quite a bit of time goes by before you realize how much you've been talking negatively to yourself. And you know, we're in a society that is so hypercritical. I'm sure people criticize me about these videos. I don't really care. I've given up on all that. And I think back to when I was a conducting student at the University of Michigan, and one of the very first lessons our amazing professor gave us, Gustav Meyer, he would say to us, if you care about what people think about you, you need to leave the room. Because as an orchestra conductor in front of an orchestra, half of the people are going to love you and half of the people are going to hate you. And there's no in between when you're a leader. So Betty, when you're taking your game to a new level, and so there's going to be people that just love you, but there's going to be a percentage of people that don't, and that's okay. We don't resonate with everyone. So letting that go and pushing the Ferris wheel, yes. So for those of you who don't know, the Ferris wheel is the first pressure-free tool that I teach. It's the starter tool. And when you start to make a big motion like this, you can retrain your brain and you can start to remove some of those negative voices. I also smile when I hear the negative voice go in, so that I can keep the dopamine flowing, and then I can allow my brain to keep thinking logically rather than going into fight or flight. Once we're in fight or flight, it's so difficult to talk nice to ourselves, because we're simply trying to protect ourselves from the true physical threat. So we're going to be hypercritical about everything that we do. Also, that's when we say things and do things to other people that aren't very nice. Right? We go into that negative behavior, become really bitchy, we bully, we're not our best selves to ourselves or to other people. So really it's amazing when people start to use the pressure-free method and they start to feel free of that. They start to talk to themselves in their best friend voice. So I'll work with my clients and I'll say, okay, would your best friend say that to you? Probably not. So how do you become your own best friend? The first thing we need to do is stop releasing those stress hormones in you so you can think like your own best friend would instead of your worst enemy. It's the first thing we need to do, is stop the release of stress hormones, and your body and your mind are going to start to flourish. You start to move into your true full potential. But you know, it's really interesting too what we will cling to. The habits that we have about talking to ourselves a certain way. This morning when I was working with my client, he takes in compliments very well, which is a beautiful thing. I'm a deflector. Are you a deflector? Does someone say, oh, you look wonderful today? And you're like, you know. Or what a great job you did last night. And you know all the things you didn't do well, so you'll be hypercritical about it. And you kind of push the compliment away. So I've been working for a lot of my life to accept compliments in. And even if the compliment is seems like too much for you, you can take it in and just send it back up into the universe. You know, let the energy flow instead of deflecting and squashing the energy. I was working with a nonprofit executive. She's a client of mine, and when we talked about deflecting compliments, she goes, I hate it when people deflect a compliment I give. It's like a slap in the face. So that was a huge lesson for me as a deflector, to say no, just take the compliment. It's a beautiful thing. Accept the beautiful energy. But we will often deflect compliments because we're so hypercritical about ourselves. Devora, thank you for joining. And I'm going to be doing another webinar Wednesday night. Also, I'm putting together a recorded webinar, so I'm going to go ahead and send that to you since you were going to come on last night. So, so thank you. Yeah, it's how we deflect compliments and how we allow energy in. If you're deflecting compliments, my guess is that you've got some negative talk in your head. We all do. Let's be honest. I analyzed my voice for 3 full weeks once in 2012 when I was working with a certain coach. 3 weeks to analyze one's voice is a long time. But that was the only way I was going to get really clear about who was talking in my head and why I was saying the certain things and why I wanted to break it. So breaking those negative patterns. And when you see someone who needs help and you invite yourself into a conversation, you are becoming that person's lifeline, maybe. You are becoming that person's best friend to really be there for them. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Spencer. Thank you for joining. Spencer, I'm working with a DJ right now in my course. Oh my goodness. You come to mind every time I'm working with this young person. It's really cool. So we're talking about voices in our head, breaking those voices that are negative and critical and stopping us from being our own true best friends, and also from having us move in our true best potential. Your full potential where your gifts and talents are coming really beautifully for you. I'm going to talk about slogan as a tool for you today. So that my gift to you today is a tool about a slogan. Slogans are short phrases or even single words that you can put into your mind and even speak that help you break some of these patterns of voices. So if my voice starts going negative, I actually use the slogan, caught you. I look up into my head and I say, caught you. I caught my brain talking smack to me. Why is it being so negative and not nice, right? But you have to catch it. And first it's that awareness, being aware of the voice. And then I will actually say, caught you. So that's one of mine. One of my clients has a wonderful slogan. It's, I can do this. How many times do you say in your day, I just can't do this. I'm just too tired. I'm so fatigued. Your child asks to play with you and you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Why are we tired when we haven't worked on the farm all day? We're emotionally tired, right? We have emotional fatigue. And that's from all the negative chatter in our heads. So how about a slogan? This is my clients. I love it. I use it. I shared it this morning with my client. I can do this. I can do this. And you can spin it with different emphasis. I can do this, or I can do this, or I can do this. Spin it the way that it works for you. But the next time you hear your brain like talking in that negative mode, it's like, oh, I just can't do this. See if you can flip it with a slogan. I caught you. I can do this. I know that I can do this. Heather, I want to work on a farm. There's doing physical work, even out in your garden, and Betty is a gardener, doing that physical work, getting your hands dirty, doing physical activity like that is just so beautiful. It can actually help your mind. It can free your mind to be working physically with your body, to open our body in any way. I do this wonderful work with my friend Lila Gonzalez. Tell me when and where, consider me there. I love it, Spencer. Actually, I have some interesting things that might be happening, and you've come to my mind, Spencer, so I'm going to keep it open. But right now, we got to work on this head and also be mindful of others. There's someone who needs you. There's someone who needs your assistance and your help. And sometimes when you get out of your own head and you're helping someone else, things free up for you. So, gosh, that is my message today. I hope you'll click on that Be Nice. I keyed it up so when you click the link, you'll go to the invite that my friend Jessica Jones has put together. And Spencer, there is an event that I'm going to be at on next Tuesday night at the Public Library in Grand Rapids. If you guys want to come on down, that is going to be some fun. So it's part of, it's a campaign to stop the stigma of mental health. So really, I want everybody to be beautifully mentally healthy. And put your own oxygen mask on, lift yourself, and you're going to be of so much help to others too. So I am completely and totally wishing you a fabulous pressure-free day. Keep pushing your Ferris wheel, keep opening here, keep breathing beautifully deep down into your abs. Keep relaxing those abs, and see if you can come up with some cool slogans. And if you have slogans, please put them in this post. If you have some words that you can think of that will spark others and help them move into a more positive mindset. I'm not particularly creative with slogans. I'm getting better because I like to turn that negative thought around. But I really love it when I hear from others and what kind of cool slogans they come up with. So I'm wishing you a fabulous, beautiful, pressure-free day, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m.